in the very early period, we hear of a role for deaconesses, who are the presumably equivalent of male deacons, but their position is specifically directed towards the preparation and organization of female adherents who are going to become Christian through baptism, not teaching them, but organizing them. And so there is a short period when these deaconesses seem to have a real role, but very rapidly it's phased out. And there is a sort of order of widows who are elderly women. By canon law, originally they should be over 60 years old, which makes them very elderly in early medieval times. But later it's reduced. But these are widowed women who devote themselves to the church, and they help priests in doing these mundane things, which are sometimes related to home visits or taking the sacrament to people who are very ill, accompanying the priest and helping the priest. But basically, there is a very clear theological understanding that at the moment where the priest makes the great where he dedicates the wine and the bread, which represent the body and the blood of Christ, he stands in the position of Christ at the Last Supper, and he represents the great leader and hero of Christian thinking, and that role can never be played by a woman, which is why there are no women priests in the Orthodox Church today, and therefore women were effectively excluded from leading roles, from roles of responsibility. And in those circumstances, they sought other ways of expressing their fervor. And this type of religiosity found a resource in the images with which they could converse. And it sounds odd, but of course we do sometimes look at a very impressive image and think about discussing with its subject. And they at the time clearly found it very reassuring and occasionally miraculously revealing to have conversations with figures like Christ, Mary, the angels, and sometimes the favorite saints. And in that way, they could express their anxieties and their religious fervor, and occasionally through dreams and visions, they felt they had responses. And I think that's why for the illiterate and the uneducated, icons became a very useful form of communication with the divine, and very, very, very significant in their lives.